You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
All the fighters that ever set foot on this planet, I'm the only world champion, United States national champion. I'm a two-time national kata champion. I was never beat in kata. Be proud of it.
The Action Martial Arts Power Hour.
All right, welcome to the Action Martial Arts Power Hour. We're here with your host. He is one of the foremost Wing Chun men in the United States today and the publisher of one of the top martial arts magazines in the world, Action Martial Arts Magazine. He is none other than Sifu Alan Goldberg. Alan, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Lou? Little chilly out there
good.
tonight, but we're doing all right.
Yeah, a little nippy. You know, before we introduce our special guest, and I'm sure you're going to be on board with me with this, I just wanted to reiterate, I think we wanted to reiterate, as we have been for the past few weeks, with the devastation that occurred along the Northeast. There are so many people, I can't stress that, so many people that need your help. So the one way that you can actually help is by making a small donation to the American Red Cross. Just go to redcross.org and make a small donation, because you will be doing someone some good. Would you agree, Alan?
100%. As a matter of fact, as I said a couple of weeks ago, that I'm joining the Red Cross, trying to get on some of the disaster relief causes that are out there, whether it's for this one or something later. And you just get so frustrated and you can't do anything. So, someone said join the Red Cross, so that's what I'm doing.
We're doing all that we can do, and that's it. You know, whether it's for Red Cross or pet relief or whatever we can do to help the people and the families that have been devastated. Now, in the world of martial arts, you have pioneers, you have innovators, and path makers. Our next guest is definitely all three of those, and it's an honor to introduce him. Although many may look at Bruce Lee as being the man that brought Wing Chun to the Western world via Yip Man, our guest is the one that made the strides in bringing grassroots awareness of Wing Chun to the Western world. So without further ado, please join us in welcoming the one and only Grandmaster Jason Lau to the Power Hour. Jason, welcome to the show, Jason. How are you?
Good, Louis. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, long time no talk for sure. Alan, I'm gonna, he's your Sifu, so
as I said,
I'll lay that on you.
This show's a little different than others because usually I'm equal to all my guests that come on to some point, but this show is I'm on with my Sifu on the phone. So and the show is something dedicated to him this week, and I can tell you a lot of things about my Sifu and things that may not interest the audience, but growing up and actually we lived together for almost 5-6 years, me and my Sifu. You learn more about a person that way, and I think we built a bond that's everlasting, very honestly. So, needless to say, Sifu, how you been?
Good. When I hear the New York, the situation, just, I hope I was there like we used to be, just running out of the street and trying to help out people. And I know that you're probably doing it now.
Alan
it's so frustrating. Like, I was told I wanted to go down to the Coney Island area, and I was told, don't go, don't do this, don't do that. Because at one time, they weren't letting people in. So my main thing, besides donating money to the Red Cross, I did it to the ASPCA. They were picking up the loose animals in the street. I actually put my paperwork in to join disaster relief. And again, it may not come through for this event, but anything else happens, I want to be involved. I want to wear my little Red Cross and run around with my little jacket on and do what I can. So, unlike years ago, we used to put our leather jackets on. and boots, and we used to go on the streets and straighten things out a little differently. But now we're talking about helping people, so it's a little different.
I know. I'm very good job over there. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit of what you're doing now down in Georgia? I know you finished your first film, Masters, which was great. I watched it, and I got a little chuckle out of certain things there because, again, I know you a lot better than most people do, and seeing you in your costume, some people want to say, oh, this guy's a real old guy, but I know the real you, and even at your tender age, there's no numbers that equal to your life at this point. So tell me a little bit what you're doing down there now with the next movie.
Well, since I got down here, my passion's always, in Wing Chun. So since I started doing some training video, and then I got into really enjoy doing making the product, the film product about Wing Chun. So I think I'm gonna continue doing that. And right now the Masters is finished, and we try to market it in some way, and then we're going to planning on the next film. And the next film is nothing to do with Wing Chun, but it's about the rape of Nanjing back in 1937. So it's kind of exciting. It's about in 1937 when the Japanese raided China, and the story is about a survivor. So kind of doing a little research, and I'm probably going to China to do a little more research in Nanjing. And try to teach at the same time, so do everything at the same time. You know how I am. I need a project. Without a project, I'm gonna die.
Well, that I know. You like me. You're a workaholic. If you're not busy, there's a real problem. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, Alan, if you don't mind, because I think because Jason is your seafood, it would be hard for you to even ask him questions. So I'm going to step outside of the box. And I just, for the purpose of our listeners, Jason, can you tell us what brought you to getting involved in Wing Chun?
Well, when I started really young, and my family is into the Northern Shaolin, and my mother and father is in opera. So ever since little, I was watching, the Northern Shaolin, the fancy stuff, the jumping, hopping, singing, and all that. And but one thing to another, and I was at the school in Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong, the school of La Salle was the same one that Bruce Lee went to, and that's how I got introduced to Wing Chun. And then I was kind of hesitant, wonder, what is Wing Chun? Is that my mom doesn't like it because she told me that this is a woman's style. I don't like it. Don't do it. Of course, I think she just wanted to keep it in the family. And so I started to look around, do a lot of researching about the system. And after I did the research, I really like it, and then I started going forward for it. And I spent a lot of time in Hong Kong, but I never have done anything with Wing Chun, but just training until I came to the United States. And when I first came to the United States, not long there, of course, I met Alan, Gilbert, and the rest of the people, and then and then the Wing Chun came in pretty handy, and I got to like it more because it was really for a good cause. And I remember at that time, Alan probably still remember, we went to a neighborhood community meeting and found out this lady was having a problem going home simply because his grocery will be robbed by the neighbors. So that's how we started it after we found out the truth of the story. And then we start to handling the street on our own. And I think Alan probably can tell you part of it. And it's really rewarding, It's not like you're getting a trophy or anything, but it's something that's really rewarding. And, and then I get to like the system a lot more simply because it worked for me, and one thing another, and then I.
What year was that in when you came to the United States, Jason?
1969.
Okay.
That was the earliest one that was in New York at the time. So then after about 10 years, I moved to Georgia and working with a counter-terrorist group with the Cobra, which is people call it the Psionic. It's a counter-terrorism training center. And then, from then on, we really got to apply the theory of the system to use it in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in the 10 years that you were in New York, you did a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you from what I understand, you had an actual temple that you and your students lived in.
Yeah, that was the best of my time in United States, and we were not rich, but we felt rich. We have a whole family. When I say family, like Alan, a few people, we lived together, and we trained in the school, the temple, and sometimes we wake up middle of the night and train till the morning, and then we got hungry, we'd go to Chinatown and eat and go back to sleep and train again. And it's just great. It's the greatest time you can ever imagine at that time, and almost like a no holds bar. All we do is just training and training. Sometimes in the middle of the night I can't sleep or knock on the door. Say, Alan, get up! Come on, let's do more workout.
Oh, I remember that well.
Alan would wake up with his underwear and then slowly put on his own knock down. You go down, all right. It was really a great time. I mean, you just imagine that all we do is just training in the night, and daytime and teach a class, and then, nothing beats it.
Yeah, we had probably one of the most unusual situations that anyone see, and this is not something that I've ever spoke to that had some type of similar thing, but we had there was one gentleman, Tommy Dennison, that lived in the school first, and he had moved out, and I moved in. So me and Sifu had lived there together probably about 2 years before anyone else moved in, and we would just go for coffee in the middle of the night. We'd work out for a while. We said, come on, it was 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning, let's go for a cup of coffee. And there was a diner which was about 6-7 blocks away from the school. And I swear at least once a week we'd find out some bunch of hoodlums breaking into a store, trying to rob the store. So Jason, we'd walk up, me and my people, and say, what are you guys doing? And, of course, we get in a fight. And after a while, the cops were saying, you guys do whatever you want. You're keeping the crime down in the area. We didn't care. And believe me when I tell you, quick story is when we had the blackout back in, I think it was 75, when the lights had gone out, every block, 76, yeah, every block around us was completely ripped apart. All the stores were ripped apart. The block where the school was never touched. And the real reason was because all the bunch of maniacs, we just went in the streets with kwandos and swords and staffs and spears, and we stood in the streets. Nobody wanted to come up that block, let alone even the police at that point. So I tell you, see, we remember we got offered a lot of money to watch everyone's stores the next day, but the lights did go back on.
I remember I have
some wild times.
I remember I have a student named Randy came to apply for in Georgia, and he used to from New York. And he walked in there. He said, "Hey, hi, people. You don't know me, but I know you." I said, "Where you from?" Said, "Oh, from Brooklyn." I said, "Hey, yeah, how'd you know me?" He said, "Yeah, during the blackout, and I was watching out, and I was just getting ready to go down to the street to see." And he said, "My coach told me not to go down there like this because the way you look, you go down there, you see the Chinaman with long hair. They're gonna think that you're one of the hoodlums. They might get you." And he said he heard the name from there, and it was like, it's a lot of memory, it's a lot of memory. It's just I wish we could time go back. That's one of our best times.
Yeah, we couldn't do that again. The public wouldn't allow us, or the police would not allow what we did then. I'll tell you a quick story. There was some guys that broke a door down in the school one night, and police picked them up and brought them back to the school. And we just thought they were bringing them back for us to identify them. And the guys got them out of the car, walked in, they put them in our school, and they said, "All right, goodbye, guys." And they left 3 guys with us in the school. So, needless to say, those guys didn't rob on Flatbush Avenue again.
Oh, they were crying. I mean, my God, remember Alan? They were crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know the funny thing is that we talk about the past a lot, and it's a shame that a lot of the memories that you have and the respect that you, Alan, that you have for Sifu, a lot of that is lost in today's time.
Well, Sifu was trying to make a movie up about our times, but I told him I couldn't grow my hair back; it wouldn't work.
Not even Rogaine? Rogaine, nothing. You can get a wig.
Yeah, I can get a wig. That's true. But yeah, we did have some great times, and there were a lot of things that we did. We worked in helped Chinatown, and we collected money, and there were quite a few of the Chinese groups out there that wanted us, and a couple didn't want us there. And people kind of just threw me right in the middle of the whole thing, so I kind of adapted like I did to Wing Chun. And let's put it this way: we never lost face, no matter where we went. We always had good face.
Well, Jason, let me ask you something. When you came to the United States, what brought you to New York? What brought you to Brooklyn?
Well, I was when I first got in New York, I was teaching in Chinatown, and then one thing to another, and I decided to move out of Chinatown. I think the only way to learn to speak English is to hang around with the Americans. You never get to practice English when you're surrounded with all the Chinese. So I decided, I want to open a school somewhere else other than Chinatown. So we picked Brooklyn, and everybody told me, no, don't go Brooklyn. This is a real rough area. And when he say that, that would be fun. That's where we need to have the school. That's how we moved to Brooklyn.
And you started training. You started your school in Brooklyn as well. Yeah,
that's how I decided to find a place. And first place I found was on Flatbush, and right on top of Burger King. But from Iraq High School. And after I think a year or two, then I moved to the new location that were 1,000 Flatbush, is where I met with Alan.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got Alan. That's when you went to the school, right?
I knew Steve before that when he was at Burger King. Actually, we had a little place that I was training at before, and he used to come down here every once in a while. And then when he moved up into 1,000 Flatfish, we said, all right, let's move our operations and get together. And we got to just have a great time. And after a while, I wound up living there. And needless to say, God, Steve, almost 40 years later, here we are.
I was waiting for Alan when you moved down to Georgia.
Well, my family did. I'm not there, though.
Huh?
They won't let him leave.
I said, my family moved down there, but I'm still up here, what can I tell you?
I know.
So, Sifu, tell us a little bit more about, your training in Hong Kong and what you did out there and the family lineage for the people on listening.
Well, lineage is real funny. So many people been talking about my people is the Yiman student. This is such a bizarre thing. When I was training in Hong Kong, I know of Yiman. To me, he's just another instructor. And people sometimes often go up there to have some tea with Yiman. And some visit, it's like a friend. And in Hong Kong, it's a different species than over here. A lot of people that train Wing Chun is basically for survival at that time when we're learning. Of course, that's part of it. It's just like to learn the art. And being in Hong Kong, when they're having fight, they have a lot of gang fight, and it's pretty bad. Everybody pull out swords and knives. Big knife, not small knife, I'm talking about like a butcher knife, something like that. And so Wing Chun was really popular at that time. I remember in my school, a lot of police officers is training simply because they need to defend themselves against a bad guy, and most of the bad guy is running Wing Chun as well. So it's a system we consider it's like it's not a tournament style, basically for street survival at the time. And then the story comes to the other way, talking about Yip Man and my people. And a lot of people say that Yip Man was a sequel or still one, which is completely another different story, in which we have specified with very clearly when Wong Chun Leung was here, and Hock and Chan was there, and at that time they were trying to say that they Jiwon is the Yip Man student, and I verified it very clearly. And the way that I verify it is because there is no record of my people as a student, and my people never has any certificate from them. And my people is the only person that received a sign, a big sign that put in the school says Pure Wing Chun from Yip Man, which Yip Man never give that sign to any one of the students. So you tell me who is who, and but this kind of rumor was never brought up during my people life. It's only after my people passed away then the rumor started to come. And I understand a lot of times in New York and Hong Kong they want to try to unify Wing Chun. I think it's a good thing. But then it's kind of taking my people's names away. So, but now the thing is more clear. Not too many people, running rumors anymore. So rumors
I had the chance to speak to Yip Man's son through a translator once, and I brought up you and Yip Man and there was Juwan, and he had told me that Juwan was just a very good friend of his father's, not a student.
Yeah,
and that was from Yip Man's son, and this is it kind of clarified things also in my mind that he's someone who's literally took over the Yip Man lineage over was not pushing the fact that Juwan was his student. He said he was his friend, so it was refreshing, to say the least.
That was really nice. That was the greatest thing. So after that was clarified things. Now the smoke is gone, airs are clean. So
that put them more on an even playing field as far as history goes, right?
Yeah, and that's a little history about how I knew about Wing Chun. Wing Chun in Hong Kong really, when you trained martial art in Hong Kong at that time when I was training back like 1960, Wing Chun is really a popular system back then in Hong Kong. And it's a system a lot of people consider it's fighting. They consider it street fighting style. And of course, big Grandmaster Wong Chun Leung, which is one of my idols. And he made it very popular in Chun on the street simply because he applied it on the street with a lot of people, and he's known for that as a street fighter.
And I think that with your number one student Alan, with the magazine and doing what he's doing, I believe he's bringing more attention to the style of Wing Chun now than has been for a while.
Yes, absolutely. He's definitely is one that's bringing a lot of attention to it, and he worked hard on it. I'm going to give him a lot of credit. It's not easy, and he did it.
And he's still doing it. And he's
I'm never satisfied. Let's put it that way.
Let me tell you one thing. He will do it until the day he dies. He's still going to do it. I know Alan. He's not going to stop.
Yes, he has the intestinal fortitude, and he's like a pit bull. He has his teeth in it. He's not going to let go. He's going to make it happen, and not for his own glory, but for the glory of other people, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. I give a lot of credit on it. It's a man that, from knowing him all the years, he was never going to stop. I'm telling you, if anything happened to him, he's still going to do it. Even though he's on the bed, on the hospital bed, he's still going to do it.
Yeah, he'll still making phone calls. That, you're coming, right? January, you're coming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding me?
Yeah.
A little funny story. I'm believe it or not, when I tell them now, they don't realize it. There was one time I was a little shyer than I am now, to say the least.
Oh, come on.
But
when?
Well, one time, and when I started the magazine off, and I started to get a little more notoriety out there, I would call my people up. I swear when I tell you, I would call them every day, every other day, and I always ask them questions about, Steve, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And this went on for about a good 6 months. And one day he sends in and he looks at he talks to me on the phone. He goes, Alan, I got to ask you something. His buddy goes, why the fuck you call me for?
Hey, I didn't use that word, okay? I never used the word.
Yes, you did. It's radio. We can use it. So he says, why are you calling me? I said, well, see, but why? And I got upset because my whole thing was I wanted to impress my people and be there for him and try to help build the family. He goes, you know about this stuff more than I. What are you calling me about this? And I went, thank you, Cecil. So now I try to do what I do, and then if it's over, I try to let my people come in and just join stuff or whatever I do. But it was very funny.
I never missed a year.
No,
right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just be very careful when you go to a Chinese restaurant with Jason Lau. If ever you have that opportunity, just watch out.
Why? Well, we
I know what you do. I know what you do, Jason. I know exactly what you do.
my seafood has a palate. Let's just say it's very unusual, and the more unusual the food, the more he wants of it. So I literally think I was one of these these lofans, they call us, that has eaten food that most people would just walk away from. But great experience at least. That much.
And that was without you knowing. That was without you knowing.
He would just say to me, "Don't ask what you eat, just eat."
Well, I gotta tell you one thing. I take eating very seriously. I don't know if you remember that time, Alan. Remember we were having dinner in Chinatown on Ma Street, and then Miguel Hernandez came in with his wife. She was pregnant, and there was a bunch of gang that were giving him a problem.
Yeah.
And everybody get ready to go. I said, hold on. Let's finish this meal first.
Yep.
Then we finish the meal, then we go out and fight, right?
Yeah.
And that was a good one. I mean, Master Cho was there, and we went outside with and then the place started. That was very classic. That was very classic. I said, eat first. Don't waste the food.
Yeah. I tell you, the audience will know, me and Steve will live together. There was a time there literally that we couldn't even afford a slice of pizza between the two of us at one time. And we'd slice that pizza up and eat it and enjoy it. And now, God bless, the both of us have come to a more substantial time in our lives that makes me proud to look at my Steve and see what he's made in his life. And not just in the Wing Chun world, but I do say this, that he got to where he is in his industry, in the food services, we'll say, and catering, that what he's done is all came from the thought of Wing Chun. It all came from the idea, the non-waste of Wing Chun. And you can see the way my seafood does things, and it falls right into place, 100%.
Like the old saying, right? Fix up, both sides. If they can be eaten, don't waste them. If they can use them, we use them. I got to tell you one thing. When we first made the movie The Masters, Wing Chun come really handy. I mean, we scheduled 12 days of shooting for the feature film. I mean, every minute was count. And I tell you one thing, during the whole shooting time, I didn't waste 1 second. And I have all the crew, 100 more crew, everybody well fed. And we split this exact on the same timing. I mean, I will be shooting one room, and the other room will be rigged for the next shot. And even my DP was telling me, man, your timing is right on the dot. One shot is finished, we split to the other one right away. I mean, that's the way we finish. After 12 days, you open champagne, we're done.
Well, I think you're going to have a lot of Hollywood producers that are listening to you saying, cost effectiveness. All right, maybe we got to call this guy.
It was fun. There's a lot of my ambition is just to do something I like to do, and I definitely like to do something I've never done before. To make a feature film, this is my first time, and I enjoy every moment. I was so excited. It's like a big fight. I'm telling you, it's like a big fight. I did a whole 9 yards up. I made a storyboard. The storyboard is like 4 inches thick. Every part of the story, and I saw the whole procedures. And I think that was my greatest time.
Oh, that's great stuff. Are you in post?
Oh, that's another time. Huh?
Are you in post production right now?
Oh, done. The movie is already finished, and we get ready to post it up in what you call that site, the VMAX. Yeah.
Okay.
So we give it. Yeah. Hopefully we can post it up and start viewing it. And we are working on a second one already. Hopefully that we can shoot next year. But this is not a martial art. Well, I have martial art in there, but it's not like a martial arts film. It's a horror film.
Oh, a horror film like a bad date, or a horror like Jason Voorhees?
It's a really a hard, like it's very hard, like a Saw, like the movie Saw.
Oh man!
It's about it's about a person that was one of the victims in the rape of Nanjing back in 1937, which is a real person. And this Chinese guy that he lived to tell the story of what happened. And the story is when he was 9 years old, he was watching his little brother baby killed while he's being breastfeeding. And then the Japanese soldier came in and killed his brother and then raped his mother in front of him and then killed his mother. And the sister, which is 11 years old, ran over his mother crying, and of course Japanese soldiers also raped her and took her to the sex camp for the soldiers. Then grandma came out, and they raped his grandma too as well, and killed his grandma. And then the soldiers stabbed him, but he lived to tell the story. So what happened is after using this person, bringing him to the United States to commit some revenge on the Japanese. So it's kind of a little, fun story.
Yeah, I would think in the movie he would have a lot of redemption. He'd be looking for a lot of redemption.
That's right.
I said in the movie he would be looking for a lot of redemption.
A lot of revenge. A lot of killing. A lot of killing. I mean, from the beginning it's blood to the end it's blood, and then to the court, and then the whole thing went to the court. Goes to the court.
Wow.
So
yeah. Well, what we need to do, we need to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. We're going to continue talking about the film and everything else you're doing, Jason. So we'll be right back on the Action Martial Arts Power Hour.
You're listening to UCW Radio, in your face.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. So glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Action Martial Art Magazine, January 25th, 26th, Hall of Fame, United City Tropicana Hotel. Be there, bigger, better than ever. The ultimate martial art event, biggest martial event in the world. Tropicana Hotel. You want to contact me, 718-856-8070, or go to our website, actionmadstore.com.
closer, man.
You're listening to UCW Radio, in your face.
All right, welcome back to the Action Martial Arts Power Hour with your host, Alan Goldberg, and our special guest, Grandmaster Jason Lau. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you. I wanted to go over a little something with.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to go over a little something with the audience. People worked for a very famous general back years ago, General Wabell, and so I understand it. And it was a very interesting part of his life. And I don't know if he'd ever do certain things again like he did, but I know he enjoyed himself. And Steve, could you, explain a little more about that part of your life?
Well, that's, I would say, my highlight of my life. After what we had done in New York, and I always like to do more. I remember when I first met him, I knew it. I asked Johnny, I said, who is Mr. Wabell? Remember? Mm-hmm. Johnny always read the Soldier of Fortune. Oh, my God, how you know this guy? I said, I don't know. Yeah. But they offered me such a good job. I can't refuse. It's such a high pay. And I went there just because the pay was really good. But then when I get in there, and it's completely a different world. Of course, I'm the only Asian person there, so it's even harder. And it's like, it's like a sore thumb sticking out in a company. And everybody works there. It's all from special forces, steel, Rangers, and all that. and it was really a good feeling. And company did a lot of work, to for the rescue people from other country, back for American people, rescuing them from other country. But the whole training process during that time and meeting all the people is it's really interesting. All the Special Military, SEAL Team 1 and all the people. And when I first went in there, I thought it was just like another, one of those training camps. But that is not another training camp. It's one of the only kind of training camps. They have they straightly a special kind of breed of people in there. They do a lot of special operations. They train all kind of firearms, all kind of tactics, and most of the personnel is being trained in like almost everything. You fly a plane, and I was getting to fly a chopper. I didn't do it. I was supposed to do it, but then was time. But anyway, you would have to teach you a lot of stuff, and you have to fly a lot of stuff. And most of the people you meet is all the ex-people from the military, and all the ex-military people come out to our camp. Is basically they are on a special operation, and so you meet most of the people like Colonel Bogritz, one of my idols. I think he was one of the heroes at that time. And we went to rescue the POWs from Vietnam, and did a whole operation. I think it was a very exciting thing. And for me, is I feel a very patient person at the time, because things that I always want to do, but never thought that I would have a chance to do it. But I was really glad that I was training in Chun, because if it's not for that, I think I won't be here talking to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people in there, it's not just joking. It's not just, it's not just a little fight here. I mean, literally they move to kill, not move to win the game. They will move to kill. So if your thought was a little bit off, and you're off little guard, your chance of losing alive is really easy. And before I go there, and I heard a lot of stories about people that never come home, people that during training time have never made it. The company is really special. I mean, I can only tell so much about it, and but the exciting thing of the company is they're so American, and a lot of people probably looking at it. Oh yeah, they are raising mercenary. No, their company is not raising mercenary. They're raising people to rescue people. That they are the people that we rescue is all Americans. We need to bring them back home, And of course, some people have a different way of looking at us. And
some of the audience doesn't know who General Bell was. There was a movie called Wild Geese, which was written about him. And kind of give you a better idea who the guy was. And there was another movie years later that was written. I know it was about your small contingency group that was Uncommon Valor.
Yeah.
And that was a story I know that you guys were involved in
Uncommon
also,
Valor.
which was very interesting. Right.
So that Gene Hackman was in that movie, right?
Yeah, Gene Hackman, Patrick Swayze's first movie, actually.
Right. Yeah.
I can't say too much more about it, or they're going to kill me. So I can't say too much more. So let's just leave it at that.
It's just some controversy. That's it.
Well, we'll just say that for the purpose of our listeners, if they wanted to know, the skill set, you can look at a movie like Uncommon Valor. If you wanted to get, crazy, just look at Rambo and kind of mix that up with the movie Taken, and there you go. We'll put Jason Lau and throw him out there. That's what you have when he was in action, doing his stuff. And I think that's some intense stuff, Jason.
Well,
you play for keeps.
When you're young, you just think like that, and it was when you're young, you think this is a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. And now as we grow old, we look back and say, I don't believe we did that,
Yeah, well, that's the way it always is. That's the way it always is. But these are your experiences. This is and I always call them the life tiles, but they are the life tiles of your existence. And this is the stuff that you'll never do again. And you probably won't want to do it again. But you did it, and that's part of your history, and that's the stuff you leave behind. And I don't think too many people out there would be able to handle what you've handled. And you just smile, and you have such a great demeanor, and every time I meet you, you're happy and you're joking around, but at the end of the day, you can really cause some serious damage on someone if you wanted to, but you don't give that vibe out.
I tell you a little story about it. When we went to an event, God, it had to be close to 20 years ago. We went to an event. I won't mention where, what, when, and how, but we went to this event, and it so happened to have been a bunch of these so-called ninja guys there, okay? And they were all talking about what killers they were, and oh my God, I mean, these guys never left the dojo, but they were all killers and assassins and so on and so forth. And ironically, Sifu trained, and I want to say something, but I don't even know why Sifu knows, but we just lost Grandmaster Ronald Duncan the other day. He just passed away. And, great loss to us, too. And I know my Sifu had worked with Grandmaster Duncan for a while, too. And we were at this event, and Sifu looks at these guys. He goes, let me ask you guys a question. He goes, what would you guys do if I pulled a gun and put a knife to your head? And these guys, I mean, they really had no idea. They talked about the whole, martial arts system, what they were going to do, but they never had it done to themselves. So, you practice it all day long, but when it was done to you, like it's done to my Sifu, you kind of understand it's a little different, But I did want to give also just, a little thing. I'll be putting up on Facebook as soon as I know that, as I said, Professor Duncan had passed away the other day, and once I'm trying to find out when the funeral is going to be, we should know very soon. So, Ronald Duncan passed away.
Can I catch up?
Yeah, Ronald Duncan? Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No, he just passed away the other day. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What happened?
Yeah, he had cancer, and he tried to, fight it for a while, and he was actually doing well. He was at my event last year, and he looked a little, he didn't look himself, but he still tried to keep a straight face and, be involved with everything because he enjoyed that. And he was very much looking forward to come to the event this year and be involved again. He really kind of enjoyed the event in a certain way, differently than he did other events, because he was put up on a pedestal on not by students, but by other people in other arts even, because he was around for that,
Yeah, now we know him so how long? Man, long time. Right, Alan?
At least 40-some odd years, yeah. At least 40-some odd years, definitely.
And he was a ninjutsu man, just for those that aren't familiar with Master Ronald Duncan, or Grandmaster Ronald Duncan.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys to bring it over here, and actually the first one, actually. And even gentlemen like Stephen Hayes and stuff all came even after Master Duncan. And, Master Duncan, left a great legacy. He has some great students. I was at an event on Saturday night, Hassan Khalik's event, and a lot of his students were there. And the concern of the night was everyone knew that was probably going to be the last night, before he closed his eyes for good. Everyone was, kind of in a somber, feeling because they kind of knew it was the end already. So, listen, we only wish him he's in a better place because he was suffering at the end. And we just, people just keep in touch with me on my Facebook. As soon as I know something, I'll be putting out information for everyone to know when the funeral was and everything. So it'll probably be right after Thanksgiving, I'm assuming, too, next week. So.
That's the second
loss
cancer this year. The big names in martial arts, Alan.
Yeah, we lost like a good buddy, Joe Louis. And we lost him. And there's other people, too. We just lost that gentleman, Roger Clark, Grandmaster Clark. He had a heart attack, but we also lost him. So, this year I have three of my faithful inductees and faithful people that have been around since the beginning of what we're doing. And we're going to give a little tribute to them this year. I'm trying to get something a little different to do if I have the time in the time that I need. I'm going to try. I can't promise, but I want to give back a little and at least a moment of silence for all these great gentlemen that we lost this year alone. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not a good thing. Not a good thing. But we all get older, and we have to enjoy what we have. We have to be thankful that we have a life and family and people around us that we enjoy. And he had some two great sons also that he was always with, and great carriers of his system. And I myself will support them all the time because they were always there for me. And they did the right thing in the martial art world too with their fathers.
And I mentioned this earlier too, that as like with Jason and yourself, Alan, and Grandmaster Ronald Duncan, Joe Louis, what you guys do, and the paths that you break open, that you pave for people. This is the legacy you guys leave behind. And even though someone's gone, they're not really gone. Like Joe Louis lives forever. Okay,
yeah.
So the same way with Grandmaster Ronald Duncan, and anyone else that makes their mark on the world. So I think celebrating their life is what we need to do instead of. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a funny thing about what you say, celebrating their life. They bring this up. These are also gentlemen that, Ronald Duncan had a special way about him, but that's what made him Ronald Duncan. Joe Louis had a special way about him, and that's what made him Joe Louis. And, those are things that, stand up most. It's not only their art, but it's the way they carried themselves as a man. And, we want to do a story on Joe Louis and Ronald Duncan, my next issue. And we'll, kind of dedicate the issue to these gentlemen, too, because they deserve it. And I myself, listen, I'm not a youngster anymore myself, but I myself am not going to forget about, keep pushing the seniors of the martial arts out there. And that's what my whole thing was when I started my magazine, is that, too many people were being forgotten about. It was always the movie star or the young, good-looking guy that won a tournament that was on the front cover of all these other magazines. And I started off the magazine to go off and say, well, let me do coverage on the people that people literally forgot, and try to give them even that last ray of sunshine, if that's what it took, And I did a story with Joe on his conference that he had the year before he passed away, and I've never given any story more than 3 pages in any of my magazines, because we don't have a lot. We have 48 pages, so I usually give 3 pages, tops 2 pages, is a minimum usually. And I gave Joe 5 pages, photos and everything else, and he was ecstatic. And he said to me, well, I can't believe you did the whole event. And I said, well, Joe, I thought it was important. Well, we knew at that time he was sick already, and, if that's what made him happy, and, to know the martial art world was looking at him that way, hey, well, that's my job more than anything else,
Yeah. And one thing that you mentioned, the last show we did, you were talking about the event. You're looking to highlight, again, as you just said, those martial artists that are forgotten. But one thing that you said, which is poignant, a lot of people in the world of martial arts, you have martial artists that are training 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. There's only one place that I know of that you can actually go, or you could wind up going and seeing a Grandmaster Ronald Duncan, seeing a Joe Louis, seeing a Jason Lau, and that's at your event. And what people fail to realize is that you have people that people do get older, and maybe you only have that one opportunity to meet them, because once someone's gone, they're gone. You're not going to go meet them or have that opportunity to shake their hand and say thank you for what you've done. So I think it's important what you're doing, Alan.
I've always said my event is a showcase for these guys that are out there, and it's definitely a business venture for them also when they come to my event, and it winds up after my event. After a while, they realize that it's fun. They enjoy it. They're able to be with their peers and be with the people that appreciate them. So it's turned into so many double-edged sword in my event. You know, being business-oriented, but at the same time being a force of life for these guys to be out there with their public. You know, and I'm honored that I keep getting the crowds that I get. I'm honored that I get all these celebrities. I have a lot of new celebrities coming in, and it just blows me away. I mean, we just had something on to let the audience know. On Friday night after my wine and cheese party, we're going to be running a wine and cheese from 5:30 to 8:30. At 8:30, they're starting in the main ballroom, not the ballroom, the main showroom on the third floor. They have Louis Velazquez is coming in with the rock group. It's the mixed martial art group, and he has a great show with the Gracies and Tycho Schulman and a bunch of other guys. So my whole weekend was just added one more project into it. Thank God I don't have to work on it. I'll be able to sit and watch the fights instead of being involved running them. But it's going to be just a great additive to the weekend. So.
And that was the last minute thing that Louis Velazquez did?
Louis is doing it. He does the shows. As a matter of fact, he has a show next week in Manhattan. And this other show he's doing now in Atlantic City is just so happened that he got canceled out. And they asked me if it was all right. They thought, it would coincide with my show. And I said, sure. As long as it's not during my show, I have no problem with it. And as long as it's something that's added on to it, people can come to my event, see everything I have, and if they want to go watch some real pro MMA fights, they're going to have it at my event also.
You see, and that's the thing that I keep saying about Jalen, that other people, when they have an event, something like an opportunity like that would come along, and they would shun it because their ego would get in the way. But you're just about making the experience for the people that are going to your event even that much better. So that's
it's funny because I was on the phone with Lou today, and Lou's literally one of the top promoters out there with what he does in the MMA field and originally kickboxing field. And I used to work with him 2 years ago, and I always liked his professionalism. But what Lou has done is he's able to bring it up to another level now, and a lot of his fights, he gets guys right from his fights go right to the UFC. So he's bringing top-notch competitors into his event. But being involved when something like this happens years ago, I asked Lou, hey, let's get together and try to put your fights in on a Friday night at my event. And what happened at the hotel at that time, they wouldn't allow it. But because of the cancellation, it worked out well that they had to give them the weekend, my weekend. They asked me if it was all right with me. I said 100% because that's what I've been wanting for years. So, sometimes God works in funny ways. And I think it's going to be a blast because that's going to bring another 2,000 martial artists into the hotel that weekend alone. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be out of control. It's going to be definitely out of control. So now, Jason,
yeah, it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun year. Yeah, we strayed away from the Q&A with you, but you being involved with CIA operations, things like that, to me is incredible. This is stuff. These are events that people make movies about, they write books about, and you lived it. So how many people alive can say that they lived it and actually talk about it? You're one of the few, my friend.
It was different. It feels good, I mean, I sometimes think back and I said, hey, you can only live once, and that was one of the time things, and it was nice to, it's good to see the outside of the world, see how the people are. And it was, and Mitch is he's like a father of mine, and so my father was there with me when I was young, so the general become like my father. We're very close, and I'm glad I got to see that side of the world and taste it.
And with all that said, the big question that I have is when is your book coming out?
My book.
Yeah, the book that you should be writing because nobody will believe this.
We wrote something, about Alan and all the old time back in New York, Alan and all the guy, Michael Montana Lewis, and I tried to, finish them, but one thing led to another, but I will try to finish them. And I talked to Alan.
We can't do too many things. We all get arrested, though.
I know. We don't know which one to do first, but that's it's one in my pocket that I want to do it, And I already wrote it, and the problem is too long, and I have figured out how to shorten it. And the story is really long, and I just have to. Some people say we have to take it, different part 1, part 2, part 3, And I said, well, I don't know. So I got a couple of screenwriters helping me out, and they said, well, it is very long, and the story go back to China, how we met in New York, and all the good stuff. But let's see. You never know, It's just like a break.
It can be a mini series.
I hope so.
There you go.
It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
We're getting close to the end of the show, but I want to say something to the listening audience right now. I've been with my seafood close to 40 years now, and there was one time we actually didn't speak, but it was a good 8-9 years we hadn't spoke. And when we did speak again, we kind of re-embraced each other, and we realized that it was very important that we were still on that level as, student in seafood. So, guys out there, a lot of guys break away from people and they do their own thing, whatever. And I had to tell you, I'm very happy being a follower of my seafood. And if more people would understand that, your instructor is actually your father, don't run away from your father, even though you might not like certain things. So it's my honor to still be with my seafood after 40 years. And I tell people all the time, hey, I'm just the follower. I'm just with my seafood. So that's something I wanted to say on the air for everybody to know.
And no one would think anything lower than what you said, Alan, because how you are is indicative of your training and the guidance you had. Because I guarantee you that if you didn't have that humbleness that obviously Jason, your Sifu has, then you wouldn't have that either, because things are passed down. So that's one thing that he definitely brought to you, amongst other things, and your ability to really hurt somebody.
We've heard a lot of people over here.
That's one thing I got to tell you, from the time that we spent together, I mean, like you said, like father and son, I tell you, it's like family. It's actually come right out of the school. And we have our good time, we have our tough time, we have our rough time.
And then the one thing about Alan, about yourself, about Jason, when you have your extended family with your students and everything, the way you treat them, the way you embrace them, is the way that you should embrace. You should embrace your students and your teacher and so on and so forth, and treat them as family. You're going to have your arguments, your ups and downs, this and that, as you said. But at the end of the day, you can't get rid of them, because you can choose your friends, but this type of family you don't want to give up on. And that's the reality of it, because it's
a good martial art instructor is what I'd say is not someone you just learn martial arts from. It's someone you learn a lot about life. So the martial arts is definitely a part of it, but life, listen, if you didn't live your life correctly, the martial arts means nothing anyway. So if you learn certain things from your seafood and from people, your instructors you're with, it'll make you a better person if you listen to other things than just the martial art end of it.
It becomes, just like anything else, it has to become a lifestyle. It can't, if you just use it to learn how to fight, then you're really not getting what martial arts is about. It's more than fighting.
We like to fight anyway, though. But
of course you like to do that. Yeah, but you got to grab the other things, too, to be complete. Now, Jason, before we close out, is there anything that, how can listeners learn more about you? Is there anything that you want to, any words that you want to leave them with? Because, again, I'm still in awe, and I always have been, of your background and what you've done and what you continue to do. And I think you're just an awesome person, and I'm honored
to
say that I know you. But I want our listeners to know more, learn more about you too. So why don't you just give us some information on how they can do that?
And one thing I want to add up before he says anything. Sifu, please don't say call Alan.
You just took the word out of my mouth. Thank you.
Yeah.
That would be easier thing. Just call Alan.
Oh my! Just call Alan. That's it. He'll know everything.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook. It's so easy to kind of find. You know, you put out Jason Lau, you're on Facebook, and this is one of the greatest things. I don't even know how to run. I still don't know how to do the Facebook thing. Alan keep on saying, "I send you something. And I can't find it. So I'm going to get my student to do it. But I helped you send a whole Facebook thing. So kind of like now I got more work to do. Every day I have things I have to answer, questions, and all that. And now I'm going to let my student do it. They started it. It was good, the Facebook thing. It's easier.
Yeah, Facebook, just go and look up Jason Lau. You look him up on Facebook. And what about your website?
I have a website for the film. It's called it's called masterfilm.com. You can go in to see the film, the making of the film, the before, after, the trailer, and soon we're gonna have the whole film uploaded very soon. And we have my site I think it's called jasonlau-wingchun.com.
Okay. And are you still taking in students over there, Jason? Or are your students taking in students?
I'm kind of straight to enroll student over here, and my school is already booked, so I've only taken people that they passed the interview, and I kind of put them on the list now. But now we have a long list, so we won't be able to accepting people until next year Christmas.
Okay.
So we're closing the door for them. I enjoy teaching. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to be too commercialized teaching, and I don't want to have too many people that I don't know the names or the others. So I'm kind of like let them hang on, until I'm ready to pick them more. And that's a little amount, and until I'm ready.
So you're not going to be Tiger Schulman's, which is a good thing. So
it's tough to teach. It's tough to teach people you don't even know their name, So I try to limit it to certain people, and then when I have really enough, and I just close the store until I have opening, until someone move, drop out, or whatever.
And that's the same thing that your number one does too. He does the same thing.
I know, like father, like son, right?
Like father, like son. There you go. Like father, like son.
We do it out of love, and I think that's what it's all about. So, it's one thing you make money with the martial arts, but, do it honestly. But you got to love what you're doing. It's not just about making the money.
That's the main point. You got to enjoy what you're doing. That's more than enough.
And that's a great way to close out the show. Again, for our listeners, go to jasonlau-wingchun.com. Find out more about this great martial artist, this great person, and you'll learn things about him if you do some research on Google. That you'll be like, wow, And he's so humble. But Jason, I'm sure Alan is going to join me in saying this. Thank you for honoring us.
I'll see you in January, right?
Oh, of course you're going to see me in January. We have the Friday night wine and cheese.
Absolutely. I'm not crazy. That was the best thing I ever had. All my students are talking about how nice it was. So when you go to the Hall of Fame, we can wine and cheese, but the party was really good. He sure knew how to throw a party, I tell you.
Yeah, and I think Shoney Carter is going to be bringing it again.
Yeah. We got some great people. Well, Sifu, it's an honor just having you on the air with us, and there's so much more. There's so much more to talk about.
We sit down one day. We talk about all the old time things. When you're complete free, okay?
Yeah, you got it, Sifu. You got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason, and thanks for all our listeners for tuning in.
Thank you for having me up there. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It was an honor. And all our listeners, catch us next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We are live with Sifu Alan Goldberg, Action Martial Arts Power Hour. and we're going to have another amazing guest. Guys, thank you again.
Audience, say it with me. Legendary. It's going to be 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 legendary.
The ultimate martial art experience. Action Martial Arts Magazine Hall of Fame. January 25th and 26th this year. Don't miss it. Bigger and better than ever. More stars, more people, bigger rooms. We're expanding everything. Friday night parties, seminars. So be there. You need to call me, 718-856-8070, and I'll tell you more.
You're listening to UCW Radio, in your face.
If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
All the fighters that ever set foot on this planet. I'm the only world champion, United States national champion. I'm a two-time national kata champion. I was never beaten in kata. Be proud of it.
The Action Martial Arts Power Hour.